Excellencies on the dais, esteemed speakers, delegates and champions from oil and gas industry, officials from ET, friends from media, and ladies and gentlemen. It's indeed privilege to share my views on the National Green Hydrogen Mission, which is a very ambitious program launched last year by the government and has a huge opportunity for the Indian economy. But let me thank and also compliment ET for organizing this Oil and Gas Annual Conference. So yes, it is true that next 2 decades we are going to still use oil and gas. At least for next 1 decade, maybe the oil will be under use the way it is being used, maybe a little less share. The share for gas will keep on increasing, but there is a new entrant now, which we call it as, or I call it as green molecule. Now, it is not that we have not used the green molecules. We have the biofuels, we have the ethanol, a very successful ethanol blending program now, almost touching 20% now and have even higher targets. But this new entrant is actually a green molecule coming from green electron. So in the morning we welcomed the very good sunshine here, and that's the biggest strength for the country. Sun is the ultimate energy, source of energy. We have been learning from the school days. But in India, the solar and wind, the renewable power is actually the biggest strength for the energy sector. And that's how we are trying to leverage. So if we talk about economical side, the decarbonization goals can be in 2 ways. One, to electrify the economy and green the grid. And that's what we are. So we have increased the electrification, as some of you may not be aware. We were somewhere in 18% electrification on the consumption. We have almost reached now 22%, a huge jump. And we are inching towards 30%, which could be in another 8 to 10 years. That means almost touching a kind of a developed economy. Most of the advanced economies have electrification rate something between 30 to 35%. And that's why the India is also approaching to electrification. But what about those sectors which we cannot electrify? And those sectors are actually to be electrified in an indirect method, something called a green molecule coming from green electron, and that's the green hydrogen. So the green hydrogen is going to pave way gradually in 5 years, but definitely in a scaled manner beyond 5 years. So that's what we could see. So by 2030, this national mission has actually all kinds of activities in the basket, right from supply side, demand side, the incentives, the regulatory framework, everything, it is there in the mission. So MNRE is the nodal ministry, but we have the ministries on the supply side, like Ministry of Power, Ministry of Petroleum, Natural Gas. We have demand side ministries like steel, fertilizer, road transports, and all other things. We have the Science and Technology Ministry supporting on the technical and the research side, and we have many more ministries who are part of the mission. Now, all these mission activities will be actually on a coordinated manner. But what about the industry? What about the stakeholders who are going to actually help deploying this green hydrogen? So the green hydrogen, we have the supply side incentives in terms of production incentives. There is a financial incentives coming up in the for 3 years, 50 rupees, 40 rupees and 30 rupees for production capacities. We have already awarded 4.5 lakh ton, almost 0.45 million ton, and we are also about to award another 0.45 million ton. At the same time, we know the potential for green derivative. So as I mentioned, it is not only the green molecule, green hydrogen is going to take the share of oil and gas, but also there are derivatives. The family of this green hydrogen, either in the form of green ammonia, green methanol, all of them are going to actually start penetrating into oil and gas consumption sector. Green ammonia can be used not only in the by replacing the grey ammonia, by saving the natural gas import, and also it can be used as a fuel. Same thing, the green methanol can be also one of the either ingredient for making eSAF, the sustainable aviation fuel, or even we can use it as a fuel for the shipping sector. So as I mentioned, on the supply side, we have incentives for the electrolyzer manufacturing, the hydrogen manufacturing, and also on the consumption side, we have a lot of pilots coming up. We have already awarded the steel sectors. So we have awarded pilots for 100% DRI, steel production through DRI process by using 100% green hydrogen. At the same time, we have also initiated a pilot project for blending the blast furnace, blending the pulverized coal through hydrogen. On the shipping side, we are in the process of converting 2 vessels who can run on a dual fuel mode, where we can use green methanol or maybe any other derivative which can actually power the ships, and that will be a huge thing. Globally, many activities are happening in the maritime sector. On the road transport, yes, maybe in a few years we will see 10, 15 and double-digit buses or trucks. But another 3 to 5 years, it will go to 3 digits, and maybe very soon it will scale up, the way we have seen the revolution on the electric vehicle side. So we hope that on the consumption side, there will be many more sectors coming up. SMEs are using different energy sources, especially gas and all other kinds of there. They are also trying to gear up slowly, and we will try to identify which are the potential sectors on the SME front where we can actually utilize green hydrogen as a decarbonization source. On the shipping side, and a little bit I want to talk about the global perspective. Shipping is a huge opportunity because IMO is coming out of different mandate. SAF already talked by Director IOCL. So IMO, if they are able to mandate certain % of green fuels, it will be a huge opportunity for a country like India. As I mentioned, we are able to, we will be in a position to produce one of the cheapest green fuel for the world in coming 4 to 5 years. And that's where the mission targets. We want to reach the production capacity of more than 5 million tons, which is much higher than most of the other countries' targets. So on the maritime side, if we are able to produce green methanol or green ammonia, which can be provided through bunkering facilities in southern part, the ships can come. I am told already 15 ships are having capacity to run on dual fuels, and another 50 are under construction. By 2030, it is estimated that about 200 ships will be using green fuels, and that India can offer a huge opportunity for providing green fuels for bunkering. At the same time, SAF also could be a big opportunity for airlines to come to India and refuel them through eSAF for there. Globally, the use of hydrogen will be basically for decarbonization. Most of the advanced countries or the developed countries have decarbonization goals much before India, because India is still a growing economy. As of now, for hydrogen mission or hydrogen economy, India's objective is to produce the cheapest form of hydrogen derivatives and export to those countries who have to meet their decarbonization goals. For India, because we have a strong grid available in the country where we can produce the renewable energy and produce hydrogen at a different location, maybe along the coastal line, that is a win-win situation for both the power sector, for the oil and gas sector, so that we can have a green hydrogen derivative at a lower cost and we can export to other countries. At the same time, our own economy can gear up for next 2 decades to replace or at least minimize the import of fossil fuel and convert into a green fuel which is coming from green electron. That's the India's strength, and I believe in next 4 to 5 years, India will have entirely a different position in terms of green hydrogen economy, and it can become an exporter of energy for the world. Thank you so much for inviting me.